I got checked out downtown for spontaneity by a couple of bait reporters because I do have some zingers. But I don't check out very well on the subject of spontaneity. There's reasons for that. I'm a dunderhead. I'm not. I mean, admittedly, I'm in the honor society at the community college, but I don't have that high of an aptitude. I don't understand politics. I can't put together a model airplane. I don't remember things that I should. So I thought I'd make a tape, sort of go through some of the things that are going on. I should take down that Santa Claus now. It's after Christmas now. It's New Year's 2024. It's just my first tape, 2024. Seems like I must have done one before this. Anyway, uh, oh, here's something that's bound to get the jumping holler jumping up and down. It's illegal technically in our society to rip somebody off by purposefully and bullyingly paying somebody less than something's value. And of course, we know that people take my masterpieces from me and then sell them on black markets. And it's underwritten by the U.S. government. We used my beautiful name, James McRowland Crary, as a human shield for Ringo Starr's genocide and espionage, which they have justified. That's the major word for Seattle, Washington, is justified. How could it be that a person um, who actually wrote a genocide manuscript is a Zionist, whose likeness appears on a 1979 album by the Spinner Beanie, who plays with wheels of public sensibilities in a magisterial way, lying, always lying, admitting that the judge and jury are the accusers. How could this person, the Zionist, get away and then say that a person like me should pay for it? It's just justifying it. And they towed out Freddie Mercury and stuff, who came from the Michael Foucault school. Some of these guys just, Guy Kitchen used to talk about using the, um, back when he was hanging out with Cindy Chapman at Tyler Art School, using the human form for art. They um, they covered the tracks of their complicity with things like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The huge, weird story that Peter Gabriel told for the Zionist lobby of David Geffen is a fraud. He sacrificed another Ohio tri-state area um, victim of neurohypnosis to show the brutal battle behavior he is capable of, and to shade the idea that chivalry is mandated from someone, from each person for whom the Green Party peeps in their home computer and poisons. He wants the chivalry evoked as a class action of willingness to pay the price. I mean, these guys did it to themselves, and then they set it up to make it look like they get to draft people as poachers and light them on fire. They poison me in the mouth. Ripper murdered Shannon Harps. And we're supposed to admire their idealism. This is the new Zionist stuff that we're getting from Biden and Netanyahu. Gaza is just proof that Peter Gabriel is criminally insane. He's been playing this game with me for a long time. The bizarre storyline that Pitt, Netanyahu, and Biden and Obama told about me pretends that the script isn't related to what they did on Mount Desert Island, that there's a juxtaposition of opportunism in the way the script was used for Mount Desert Island, but not as part of the planning of Mount Desert Island, which is it's just a lie. They have, it's not just that these people lie like crazy, but they tell as fiction things that are true. Like You Only Live Twice, the film about Ian Fleming film about James Bond pretending to be killed, was a true angle on what they did with John Lennon. He pulled a Houdini. He was a mastermind of this whole thing. Tive used to talk about it when I was 10 or 11 years old. He said Ian Fleming was a council of people. And they voted my father. They put don't know who on his obituary with the German Green Party and stuff about injecting parochial values. And Adrian Belew, the weirdest backstabber who ever wangled, wants you to believe that the things are not related. That if you specify the intellectual content of the Donahue letter on the back of the obituary, you will not get the same exact themes that were in the script explaining Mount Desert Island. He wants you to believe that when it's a fairy tale. It's a cold-blooded lie. Now, how these people get their impetus is that the Pittsburgh Public Schools didn't do a very good job of explaining to students who didn't go to parochial schools what they missed in church. Eve is a continuer of all divine women. And if you wrong one woman, you wrong the primordial Eve. And what does wronging her mean? It means you look at her voluptuousness. Some societies are so driven to claim this that they wrap the women's faces in scarves and stuff, which probably had its history in a practical thing of, the Dark Ages when you could catch the flu if you didn't cover your face with a mask. Well, it's puerile and idiocy, and it comes from Jeffin and Belew. Now, whether or not you believe in the primordial woman and that you should abstain from intimacy and kissing and heavy petting and Saturday Night Fever and drive-ins and the happy days, as we call them, in favor of doing the 40 ministrations is open to discussion. Of course, they close the door to discussions with me because they want to example me, so they box my ears. They earmarked me for genocide. Nobody can have a conversation with me. There are some people who I would love to hear express themselves. And of course, it was opportunistic on the part of their female hirelings who could say, Oh, you don't pay attention. You're one of those men who, etc., etc., etc. The Wangler took in every wangle and betrayed my trust as a study in backstabbery. Lies so pronounced that in his audacity, he said his aim was the truth. Whoa, that's higher. For somebody to prance that they are a philosopher, a minstrel, a prophet's minstrel, seeking divine intelligence and attacking and poisoning and torturing public school children who get influenced by Saturday Night Live and Happy Days. And what's more is he plays heavy metal, you know? Boom, 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 boom. Weirdos. You can't take seriously the gyrations of their cunning, especially in light of what they've done in Gaza, which is just what one of them would call sloppy seconds. It means they've done this sort of thing before. They've gotten used to and yawn at the stuff about don't do bad things to nice people. AIDS was a genocide, and Seattle has justified it. They've created a hot wiring system of stealing from me and torturing me that they say is using the human body in art, found art. And never did they investigate the people who actually did it, because they are the people who actually did it. Their camouflage were individuals like Michael Foucault. And they claim John Lennon died, so you have to pay back Yoko Ono. Isn't that sweet? This woman on the make for revenge for Hiroshima from the Tojo run it, an unforgiving revenge society. Isn't that sweet? And they start me with the horrible people who did it to me as a child, who tortured me as a child, tortured me as a child. Biden says he protects the United States. He can't control Israel. Israel is a deep state in the United States. You get these guys like Kirby and this other State Department weirdo who are virtual crypto artificial intelligence units coming out and saying they don't see genocide. Have they even bothered to look at Twitter, much less TikTok? That there's no Holocaust going on? It's artificial intelligence futures for sale. Because what do the robots care? And Biden has surrounded the society with this neoconservative virtual artificial intelligence. While that weird ogre, Donald Trump, comes pounding at the gates. And they got this accomplished. They got this accomplished through the Jeffin Corporation. One of Netanyahu and Blinken's buddy once, and what they construe as Zionism. What does Zionism mean? They claim that it was blasphemy to leave a virgin untouched. That was blasphemy. He was possessed. I had to be castrated for that. This is the mindset of Mick Jagger's artificial intelligence virtual program coming out of people like Blinken for Penis Gabriel's rapid eye movement team. You lied, so you die. Paul Rucker used to say, you lie, you die, you eat some pie. And they were lisping things like it must be the trees of succulent machines back in the day when they were blowing on the fire, saying, "Oh, well, one size fits all," meaning, who the hell do you think you are? We would care enough to tell you what's going on. So the bottom line is Seattle is just justifying it. They can't. It's like John Schulman was finally caught, but Seattle wasn't. Headquarters in Seattle, Washington is all Pocherelli stuff. We got the poach, we own you, and all this stupid, weird, creepy stuff. It's not legal to steal from an artist that way, but they say it's repaying the Axis for past wrongs. Because John Lennon is Casper, the friendly ghost of Adolf Hitler. Remember the walrus? It's a freak show. It's part improv and part guerrilla theater. And it's the Axis prancing around Epstein Island and then going to the Wonder office of Macron in France, putting your feet up on the desk. Hey, I'm back. Hollywood contrivances, bypassing public schools, and then sacrificing public school students in broad daylight and in cold blood. And the police and the PTA say, we will not listen to anything relevant. No. We will not listen to a child of a public schools expert who drove a school bus. No. We will not admit that Jimmy Creary was a passenger in a van that drove recklessly at Kelly Elementary School and ended up homeless because he was blamed as the driver when he was a passenger, quit the job over it. No, we will not admit that. We will not admit that that van was driven by John Schulman's gang. No, we will not admit that. We will not admit that one of his employees was at Adam Eisenstadt's house a ghostwriter for Donald Trump. No, we will not admit that. And this ghostwriter for Donald Trump got on the radio claiming that he was Abdul the terrorist, the KKK, a primary sponsor of Pittsburgh Public Schools. No, we will not admit that. No. And Robert Fripp somehow mongers his Boy Scouts to the tune of Adrian Belew to get a weirdo named Robert Card to shoot up a bowling alley over his postcard. Isn't that precious? You little weasel. Put in your chain library and wiggle your fanny home.